Hello and happy Canada Day. I'm Aileen Machel. Today is a chance for us to celebrate our country and all the little things that make us truly Canadian. We often get compared to our American neighbor to the south, but when you take a closer look, there's a lot of subtle differences.
It's the one day of the year when the normally humble Canadian's chest puffs out in pride, but we don't often toot our own horn. It sometimes takes a fresh set of eyes to remind us of exactly what we've got.
So much greenery. It's just so green up here. And I like the lakes. It's beautiful. And what else? It's just real pretty. I really like what we've seen up through here. Your trash, there's no trash. If you go to Mexico, there's trash everywhere. Especially plastic bags is everywhere. And I know it's a very clean country.
We've been through a lot of pretty country. We drove up this way. We was going to take the ferry, then we decided to drive up instead. We've seen a lot of pretty mountains and a lot of pretty prairies with farms.
IVEN GRONNING has been in the RV park business for just shy of 2 decades and has met many out-of-country folks over those years, particularly our neighbours to the south.
They love it. It's, you know, they figured it's different, eh? They like the mountains and, you know, all that kind of stuff, eh? We celebrate the American Day too, here. We put flags out and get a big cake and they have a good time. They enjoy it.
Mayor Sherry Green has personal experience with the 2 different kinds of national pride.
There is a very genuine patriotic pride about being a Canadian that is a completely different feeling than being an American. I spent a year living in the States and I can tell you it's a very different kind of patriotism, and we certainly see it. But Canadians have it in their own unique way.
Where Canadian pride shows the greatest is in the sport we love to call our own, hockey. We just can't help it.
I was at an event, a federal event, where there were, it was a jersey day and we were all asked to wear jerseys of our favorite teams, and so people had hockey jerseys on from every team you can imagine, and I wore a t-shirt that said Canada. So for me, I just wanted to show that that is, you know, first and foremost, I think, what people are proud of.
While we don't wear our national pride on our sleeves, ask any Canadian what they have to be proud of.
The greatest country in the world. You know, we've got economic conditions in Canada and particularly British Columbia that are the envy of the world. We've got a vast array and you know, some great differences in geography between the East Coast and the West Coast. We've got a great variation in cultures. We represent just about every culture in the world here, and I think that speaks volumes for what Canada is all about.
It's important, I think, that we appreciate that, you know, there's a lot of challenges in other places in the world. There's rioting going on, there's horrible, devastating things that happen, and Canada really is a pretty safe place, a pretty amazing place to live and live a good life.
YOAKEM agrees. We have plenty to be proud of, especially its people.
We have a lot of Canadians come down to South Texas where we live, and they spend the winters, and we enjoy them. They're very friendly people, and we enjoy it. Even today, everybody we asked are very helpful, very nice.
So let that Canadian spirit shine well beyond today. Happy birthday, Canada. You serve us well. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
I think it's one of Canada's unique qualities, our ability to accept people and cultures from around the world. Over the years, millions have come here finding something to love about Canada.
Since Confederation, more than 15 million immigrants have arrived in Canada. Through the years, their representation of countries across the globe has helped shape Canada into what it is today. For each immigrant, the journey has often been a struggle to break down language barriers and learn new customs. Just 21 years old and living in post-war Italy, Benny Romanen arrived here in 1958.
The government put a notice on every community. They had notices, hey, if you got young people, if you want to go any place you want to go, just let us know and we're going to help you out. So a lot of my friends, for example, went to Germany, France, Switzerland, but I decided to come to Canada because my brother was here, he immigrated in '49, and we had our cousins here in Prince George.
Romanen boarded a ship and ended up on a long train ride from Montreal to Giscombe. Not knowing a word of English, nor the vast expanse of the country, he spent 6 days on a train wondering whether he had made the right decision.
It was unbelievable because I never figured. They told me there was about 6 days and 5 nights to come to British Columbia, but I said, no, impossible. So here I came, at the end of March, and coming up northern Ontario, before we get to Winnipeg, it was 2 days, and I see all the snow, and I kind of got scared. I said, what's going on here? We are going the wrong way. I said, I think they are taking us to Alaska or Russia. I said, something is wrong.
Romanen began working at the sawmill in Giscombe, then married a local girl and moved to Prince George. Now retired, he returns to his hometown of San Quirino every couple of years. Almost 50 years ago, more than half of Canada's newcomers were from Europe. Today, only 16% of new Canadians come from that area, with more than half of new immigrants to Canada coming from Asia and the Middle East. In 1973, Cabal Clare came to the country with his new wife, excited to find a new life.
ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਵਾਈਫ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਈ ਸੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਬ੍ਰਦਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟਰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਈ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗਾ ਲੱਗਾ ਉਹਨੇ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਲੈਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਸੱਦ ਲਿਆ ਸਾਡੀ ਇੰਗੇਜਮੈਂਟ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਫਿਰ ਵਿਆਹ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੋਇਆ
Claire, a former Canfor and Brink Forest Products worker, sometimes longs for his former home in the state of Punjab, but is happy to be close to his children and grandchildren who were born in Canada.
ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਰਿਟਾਇਰਮੈਂਟ ਲਈ ਤੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਰਹਾਂਗੇ ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਆ ਉਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਲ 2 ਸਾਲ ਬਾਅਦ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਜਾਇਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਸਿਸਟਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਆ ਬਾਕੀ ਰਿਲੇਟਿਵ ਉੱਥੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਮਹੀਨਾ 2 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰ ਆਈਦੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਗ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਚਿਲਡਰਨ ਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਔਖਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ
Moving to Canada was an adventure for Liliana Stupar. She moved with her husband to make money and return to her home city of Belgrade, once the capital of Yugoslavia, now Serbia. But like millions of other Canadians, 2 years has turned into 32.
My husband got contract with Cassier asbestos mine, and we went there planning to stay 2 years. Well, apparently his contract went to 7 years. Only think after 5, I just got enough of north and winter and white, and I wanted to leave. So Prince George looked kind of nice place, so we moved here.
The owner of Liliana's Fashions learned to speak English alongside her 2 young children.
I didn't speak one word English when I moved to Canada. I spoke Yugoslavian, Russian, and German. And most of my English I learned from Sesame Street.
A former model, Stupar misses the hustle and bustle of Belgrade with its 3 million people, but likes other things Canada has to offer. Though these 3 immigrants have very different stories, there's a common thread, their love for a new way of life in a new home.
ਇੱਥੇ ਦੀ ਨੈਚੁਰਲ ਬਿਊਟੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਆ ਲੇਕਸ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਆ ਤੇ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਟਾਊਨ ਦੇ ਦੁਆਲੇ ਨੈਚੁਰਲ ਟਰੀਆਂ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ
Furnace. I don't have to hold the wood and keep the fire going all winter.
I think anybody today or anybody those days that they want to do something for themselves or for their family to improve your life or to do something for your future, I think this is the only country to be.
Throughout the country, there are many more, like Benny, Caval, and Liliana. The diversity of the population of Canada has dramatically changed over the last few decades, but its pride in the opportunities and benefits the country offers remains a reason for celebration, and not just on Canada Day.
Coming up next, the story of a local Canadian hero.